Okay, y'all, so y'all know I'm still using the same cutter. So I wanted to show you what I did. You know, when you buy one of these Chinese mulchers, all these screws, all these bolts that hold all this stuff on, like hold this plate on, well, it's just threaded through this little piece of steel right here. What I've done, if you look in there, I went all the way around and I welded vinyl nuts, lock nuts, all the way around. So now what I'm going to do, the reason why that got caught is because I did not have enough nuts the other day to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw it all back in, and I could go as tight as I need to go. I don't have to worry about stripping nothing out. And then I'm going to bang that back down to that corner, and then I'm going to go and then I'm going to use the bolts because I put I put one in the back plate right there too, right here at the bottom right there. So yeah, I'm gonna put y'all on tripod. I'm not gonna pause doing it. I'm just gonna do it, and I don't really have a lot of footage. My falcons don't play until 4, so I put this little vise on here today. I've been wanting to do that because vise comes in handy. You don't have to have a great big vise to hold stuff. Like I want to hold that hedge trimmer so I can work on it. I need to fix that. I just like to have things where I can work on it and not be, you know, standing up for 3 or 4 hours at a time and all that there, man. So yeah. Okay, y'all, so we over here, we on the 4th and 5th one. Y'all know, y'all been over here before. We do this one and the neighbor here, and on this one right here, this is all Bermuda. So with the Bermuda, what I do this time of year is I just try it. Well, after it starts, you know, going dormant, what I do is I just start cutting it a little bit lower and lower. As long as it's green, I'll cut it high. But what I normally do here is I go around and around. I know there's people that don't agree with that, but it doesn't really matter. And the reason that is all the leaves are on that side, and I can blow it out around and around. I don't miss anything. I'm blowing it through the woods in the back. I'm blowing it out this way in the front, but you'll see how light it is right here with the leaves. And this is what you get after you do the same yard for years and years. I know that by the time I get to the street going this way, right, that I'll be able to overcome this right here, be all mulched up. So, but over there, I would have to go back and forth a couple times to mulch them up. And instead, what I do is I just shoot them into the woods all the way around the back. We'll pull them off the house and get them down in the back, get them down here in the front. And then once you get out here, it starts, you know, there's not as many leaves. And by the time I get this little line right here that you see from me to this bed out here to the street, it's gone. It's just grass at that point. And then I just turn around and come back this way and pick the deck up just a little bit and shoot it back up in here. And you can't tell it, but you got to mulch them up good too. So yeah, I'll take y'all around to Rosie with me one time, and yeah. Okay, y'all, so we're over here on, I don't know, 5th or 6th one. So this is a regular customer of mine. Y'all been over here before. She's kind of a hoarder. But look at this big old stump right here. Y'all see how big that stump is? So she doesn't even know why I do stumps. So I know that's a big stump. Now that stump right there will be good for my stump grinder, but not so much for the forestry mulcher. It's just it's too elevated. It'll take forever. Stump grinder will get it good. So okay, y'all, so this one right here she had grounded, so that means she doesn't want to grind the one in the back. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get when man, she's kind of crazy. So she wanted me to give her a quote on the one in the back. Maybe they was wanting to charge her too much, but this one right here has been ground down, so yeah. So now, see, what do you do with all this stuff? I'm gonna mulch it up, throw the bagger on, and then just bag it. It's just quicker that way. I can shoot it back and forth and be here for 30 minutes, or I can be here for 10 minutes, you know. I'll run through this a couple times, see what it looks like, and then run all that, you know, not a big deal. So this will be the last time we're over here this year. And I'm not gonna give her, you know, I'm not gonna quote the stump in the back either. I mean, I'll a couple $100, but I thought we had one in the front too, but apparently she got that one ground down. So okay, y'all, we're on about, I don't know, it's the 8th one, something like that. We even went and by and did my aunt's. So this job here, y'all been to 100 times. This is the one where I'm gonna be doing some tree trimming after Thanksgiving, and some other work. Probably about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work. I'm just trying to get all my checks together. Feels like I got a knot in my pocket and it's just a bunch of envelopes. So one of my customers passed away. The husband did. She's pretty sad. I don't blame her. He was a good guy. Kind of hard to deal with sometimes, but he's a pretty good guy. Yeah. So anyway, Cam's starting to blow over here. He's got to understand, you know, when you got guys out here in the wintertime, they got to understand where to blow and how to blow, where the mower doesn't have to work any harder than, well, you can get it with a mower. Yeah, but see, that a lot of times that's what holds us up. I'll be like, dang, he could have got all this with a blower and we could be leaving right now. Especially if the guy that's running the blower is waiting on me at the truck. And it ain't because he's sorry or lazy, it's because he don't know what to do. And, you know, and it takes a minute to learn how to do some of these jobs, these leaf jobs, not really leaf jobs. It's just a different way of doing the lawn on lawns that we normally do, right? So it's not like a new property or nothing. He's got to understand, you know, hey, if I blow this, I might as well get that. If I can blow it another 3 feet, I can blow it to the wood line and the mower don't even have to come over here. Because we're not cutting the grass. I mean, I'm going over the grass just to mulch up the leaves, but I'm not cutting the grass, you know. And instead of mulching them up, and I could mulch them up, but that takes a little bit longer. You know, so I don't have mulch kits on my mower. We need to get a mulch kit on there. No, I'm good, man. We're good. The mulch kits are, I mean, I gave one away. Yeah, they're yeah. The whole baffle kit and all. I hate them, man. I like to be able to blow the grass with the mower. So that's what I do. And between that, the blower, the regular yards that we do, and knowing the expectations of the customer, I know exactly what to do. You know, the biggest thing with new guys out here is they get out here and they'll be holding the mower up because I'm having to wait on them to blow this or that. When if they just do it in a different way, you know, blow this first and then that, then the mower is not standing idle. No matter what anybody says, you don't want the mowers to sit idle. You don't. You want the mowers to be running the whole time you're at the job, and when the mower loads up, it's time to go. And you want to time everything behind that concept right there. That's how I do it. Now, you know I'm not a big business, and I know I'm still in the truck after all these years, and I know that I'm, you know, whatever these haters want to call me. But I have made it all this time, and I have excelled all this time. And, you know, so that's got to mean something. That means, what that means is I know what my customer expectations are. And that's all that really matters, you know. So for the guys that say, "Oh, you ain't shit, Ray," I'm doing what I want to do. I'm living the dream. I can't believe you're dreaming about blowing leaves. No, I'm dreaming about making money and being in control of my destiny. That's what I'm dreaming about. That's what I mean by living the dream. So, yeah. Okay guys, so this is the job that I looked at the other evening. and I didn't get no footage where we got the crepe myrtles going to haul off and all that. So you guys can see all this right here. It's the neighbors, and we're going to get all of it, all the way to this fence back here. And like I was telling you guys, $1,400 for all of this, and I'll give you a better perspective when I get back on the mower. Yeah, all this right here, we're going to have to reach in there and cut that with a saw. I mean, if you waited any more time, anyway, all of this, and then along the back fence, it's a good 4 or 5 hour job. But once you get in here, you got to be careful because these vines are wrapped around the fence, and the skid will pull the fence down. I mean, that thing's strong. So I'm gonna come up in here and just hope for the best, man. Grind all this down. So it's terrible in the summertime. Right now, it's at look. So all the way back to that wooden fence you see back there. So yeah, and then all the way across his yard. We're just gonna mulch everything down. So you're only taking out about, well, it's a pretty good bit of work really now that I'm looking at it in the daytime. What the hell, Ray? Yeah, so we'll total out over here at about $1,850, something like that, and it'll cost me probably $300 or $400 in expenses. So, you know, $1,400 or so, $1,500. We'll say $1,300 in one morning. So that ain't bad. All right, I gotta cut this. Okay, y'all, so she told me she'd give me $200 to knock all this stuff down. And so Cam, he weeded what he could, but we're gonna put the mower to it because the blades are gone on this mower already. So yeah, so we charged $300 today, and it might have took us an hour total. Yeah. Okay, guys. Boy, what a day, man. It's 1:45. We did good today. You know, for cutting grass, man. Now we ain't making we ain't making Christmas light money. That's for sure. We're making lawn mowing money, which is, it's all right. But it's consistent. So Christmas light money sounds like good money, man. I learned a lot this year about Christmas lights. I learned that I'll probably never pay nobody to put them on my house. I learned that much. I know that. I guess if you could do Christmas lights every day for $3,000 or $4,000, like some of the guys say they're getting, that'd be pretty good. I don't know how many jobs the average person does in a Christmas light season. Anybody know? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. I guess I'm just hating that I missed that money, man. That I missed the Christmas light money. I never would have thought people were paying that much. So I knew people pay good because I know a couple guys that do it, here and there. It's not I guess over in Peachtree City there might be a bigger demand for it, but in my immediate area, there's not a big demand for it. That's what people tell me. And if there is, it's not, they're buying the lights and they're, hiring somebody to go up and down a ladder. But I guess it'd be good. It'd be good if it was year round for sure. With me doing the skid jobs that I've been doing, it makes it where the lawns that we are still doing, it makes it where, I'm highly profitable on lawns, or more profitable than I would be if I were not doing skid steer work. Because if I were not doing skid steer work, I would have done some of these yards last week. But see, what skid steer jobs do, it allows the lawns to build up without you going broke behind the scenes, where you're still earning. So and you're not having to be super inefficient by going and doing 3 on 8 on an 8 lawn route. So we did about $880 today. So that's pretty good, and it's before 2. So apparently that ain't nothing compared to what the Christmas light people make. They make $3,000 in 30 minutes from what they're saying, an hour and a half or whatever. It's hard for me to believe, but I guess if you do, if you could do 2 jobs a week, shoot, you can sell your lawnmower. You don't need nothing else. You can make, hell, from what one guy I've been posting, he's made, $10,000 in 3 days doing Christmas lights. But I guess there are companies that's all they do. I don't know what makes it so expensive. If you can clean gutters out, you can hang Christmas lights. I don't really understand why it costs so much. But we ain't making Christmas light money. But we're showing what we're making, and we're showing what we're doing with the money, which proves that that's really what we're making. So you can come on here and you could say, well, I made $4,000 on Christmas lights in 2 hours. Well, and then I went and did another job and I made another $3,000 in an hour and a half. And then I made another $3,000 in 2 more hours. Where next thing you know, you're at $6-7 grand in a day, $8 grand in a day, $10 grand in a day. But you ain't got nothing. And know everybody. See, that's where things start getting a little bit funny for me. If somebody's actually really making a lot of money like that, they're going to be, you can tell if they're really, if they're a business person and they're, buying things to help them in their business. Like if I were making, $10,000 in a week doing Christmas lights, or $45,000 in 4 or 5 weeks doing Christmas lights, I wouldn't owe anything on nothing. All my shit would be paid for. I wouldn't have to make down payment on nothing. I don't think that I've ever made, maybe once or twice, but I don't think I've ever made $45,000 in a month cutting grass. I've made that much in a month, but I wasn't cutting grass, and I wasn't hanging Christmas lights. And when I did make that much, it took equipment to do it. And I took that money and invested in the business. Some people say they make that kind of money, but they ain't showing that they do. It ain't what they say, it's what they're doing, the action. Do they got a lot of financial debt? Because if you're making that kind of money, you shouldn't have any debt. And you should be like, certainly wouldn't be, owing money on a lot of stuff. Shouldn't. Ray, if you made 45 grand last month, what would you do with that money? Well, after expenses, I'd probably be at about 28 grand. So 28 grand profit in a month. Oh, you'll see what I'll do with it. I'll make it make more money for me. I'll make it make money for me in the long term. It's all about the long term to me. Keep my debt way down where I can, I'm not mandated to do anything if I don't want to. I would pay off something. That's what I would do. Some people talk about them making that kind of money, and that's great. I'm happy for them. But if they're not doing what they're supposed to do with the money, does it really matter? Well, how are you going to be telling somebody what they're supposed to do with the money? Oh, I'm not saying that I'm telling somebody what they're supposed to do with the money. I'm just saying that you can tell if somebody is any kind of business savvy by what they do with their money when they make it. Putting it in the bank, okay, that's nice. But that doesn't earn dollars. Not paying things off that you're paying interest on, well, that's what I would want to do with it. If I'm paying interest on shit, like, what do I got that I'm actually paying interest on? This truck, this skid steer. If I made 45 grand in a month at Christmas time, being a lawn landscaper, and I made that much in a month or more at Christmas time, boy, I'd pay the skid off. The skid be paid for. I wouldn't have to make it near another payment. Well, how does that make you more money, Ray? Well, I don't have to pay out as much. So I'm basically, and I don't have to pay all that interest. It's not much interest on the skid, but it is interest. And then every dollar that I make from the skid, I recoup it right back. So the interest that I'm saving over the course of time will more than cover the fuel that I can put in the skid for that time period. So now you're making more money because now you are, and it ain't like, apparently, now I don't know, apparently the 45 grand that these guys make or say they make, whatever. Apparently there's not a whole heap of expenses with it either. It doesn't require any special skills, and doesn't require all it requires is a ladder. And I guess you have to be in some younger than me for sure, and in decent physical shape. Just being younger would do it for me. I couldn't imagine what I would have even done at age 30 or so, 31 or 32, making that kind of money in a month. I would have got here a lot faster. So a lot of times what people fail to realize is when I started, I didn't even know I didn't plot nothing out. I didn't say, okay, I'm gonna cut grass for a living. I had big boy bills to pay and everything. Uh, I was a homeowner, married, vehicles, mortgage, and then try to build a business up at the same time. But if I had an influx of money like that, where I knew every Christmas I could go do, at least $70,000 in Christmas lights, I'd be a lot further along. Because I might have pimped that all the way out, like I do with the lawnmowers and everything else. That's the way I look at it anyway. You ain't pimping nothing out, Ray. You out there on the lawnmower. Right, I know. If I wasn't out there on the lawnmower, where would I be? In this skid steer, man, making that bank money. Okay. Then there'll come a time where I mean, contrary to what people might think, running the skid, in general, is not really my favorite thing to do. Now I like running the forestry mulcher, and I like running the stump grinder and the eat 'em up stuff. I'm not really, I don't. If I could find somebody as qualified as me, which is not much, I'll say I don't have, then I will let somebody else run the skid. I wouldn't. I mean, as long as the reason I have to run it is because, well, there ain't nobody that I know that knows what they're doing. Not just, well, I can run a skid, Ray. Anybody can run a skid. Yeah. Oh. I know that's what everybody thinks until they get up close to it and they have to load it on a trailer and chain it down and take it somewhere, and then they have to go through all that and not tear nobody's property up and all that there. But but if I made that kind of money in a month at Christmas time, there shouldn't be. I mean, there shouldn't be any freaking broke lawn care guy, because people are paying that much for Christmas lights. If you're a lawn care guy and you broke, I know people think that I'm broke. These guys that think that I'm not in business or whatever. There would never be a drop off. I'd go straight from lawn care straight into the Christmas lights. Wouldn't be no drop off. Yeah, I could have saved money, not even bought a skid. Just the Christmas lights. Just put the money in the bank and look at it. I don't really know that there's any major piece of equipment that you can buy to make Christmas lights easier. I guess you could buy a man lift, but you'd have to have a whole lot of work to cover the cost of a man lift. But you're getting enough money, I guess you could, but it's unpredictable, I would imagine, too. It ain't no more unpredictable than lawn maintenance. Oh, yeah, it's a lot more unpredictable than that. You never know if somebody's gonna well, number one, there's not as high a demand for Christmas lights as there is for lawn maintenance. Number two, it's not a repetitive thing other than maybe every year, once a year. But if the payout is good, I guess If you got 300 of them a year, you're good. Yeah, hell, I mean, I don't see why dude ain't a millionaire. Kind of money he said he's making, he raking it in, but don't own nothing. I know. Did I tell y'all I made 5,000 a day cutting grass in November? Yeah. Sounds ridiculous, don't it? And that takes equipment. I don't know, man. But I want everybody to make as much money as they possibly can. Everybody. Even my haters. Even my haters. But they ain't got a lie to kick it. Deuces.